welcome to Roll for Focus. With me, I have...
Mars, pronouns he, they. I am playing the forever-changing Rokain as he goes through the world. He, him.
I'm Cody, pronouns she, they, playing our lovely single dad, Leonin, pronouns he, him. Ygin, I skipped his name.
I was about to say, what's his name?
You don't need to know. He's just our lovely single
You
dad,
should already
Leonin.
know.
I'm Artemis, pronouns they, them. I'm playing Xelas, the tiefling sorcerer, and his pronouns are he, him.
And I'm Emily, and I play everyone else in the world, and my pronouns are they, them. See, I mixed it up that time. I can be varied. Last time, bonding is bonding and maybe bonded?
I was about to make the joke.
Is that going to be the name of that episode? Bonding and Bondage?
It is now!
Which means it's now canon that bondage did happen.
On one of those nights, bondage happened.
But last time, there was bonding as there was a bonfire and talks were had. Xelas discovered
Some
Born.
of Kaxus's tragic backstory.
Oh, yeah. But discovered the name Born was brought up, and he had mixed feelings about that. And then the name Chandra, well, the name
Raiden.
Raiden.
Brought up the name Raiden.
The name Raiden was brought up, which then led to the name Chandra being brought up, which both had questions about, but quickly realized that maybe should not be asking questions about it. Ygin got bondaged, or did the bondage, or both.
Why not?
Again, he's a verse switch king.
Everybody got birthday gifts for Kaxus.
Except Rokain.
No, Rokain got
I
a
got
gift.
knowledge.
Knowledge
You
was
didn't
his
save it for
gift.
his birthday.
No.
Or tell him happy early birthday.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Again, that was information that needed to be shared.
But you didn't say happy birthday with it, so it's not a birthday gift.
Whenever it comes to the birthday, it'd be like, I went through the books to find that for you.
Hey, remember when I did this?
That was your birthday present. Also, I helped decorate your cake. Ygin let me help, and then I licked the spoon.
I mean, he might have to make something or something because, yeah.
It's fine.
Either way, he would have found those books to give to...
No, yeah. You just found them in plenty of time with that nat 20 roll.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, had some bonding with Kaxus and Rokain with giving that information, Kaxus being very touched. Later, some bonding with Kaxus and Xelas, with Kaxus doing his best not to get too deep into conversation, but Xelas somehow managing it.
Without even trying.
And that is where we left off. So, in one of the many times, because obviously time is a bit wibbly-wobbly, we know this is happening over the course of 3 weeks.
And last episode happened over the course of about a week.
Yeah. So, in one of those times that Xelas and Kaxus are working together, Ygin, you're in the forge, and Rokain, you make your way down there.
I feel like there's like a wrap on some kind of wooden object to get some knowledge. Hopefully he hears it.
No, yeah. I figured Ygin is probably in the course of taking apart a piece of the forge or putting it back together now that he has scraps to do so, but hearing the steps and then the knock, it draws his head up and, oh, Rokain, how can I help you?
Are you able to sharpen weapons?
Yes, I've got a whetstone or two around here.
Cool. I noticed that my short sword... my short sword was getting a little dull and could probably use some sharpening.
All right. He kind of sets down what he was working on, finds his, like, circle grinder, basically, and holds a hand out for it.
He is extremely hesitant when it comes to handing over this sword.
No, I feel like he notices the hesitation. He's like, this is what I do for a living, Rokain. It's in good hands. and you can sit here while I sharpen it if that would make you feel better.
Okay. Yeah, he'll hand it off. Again, he feels very antsy not having it. Not that he needs it on him constantly, but it's in the hands of somebody else.
No, yeah. It's one thing. It's like, if I break my sword, that's one thing. If you break my sword, that's the end of you, kind of
hate
thing.
you forever.
Yeah.
That's the end of me if I break that sword.
I think you notice right away how nice it is, though.
Oh, absolutely. Would he notice that this is like, well, he knows Rokain, but like notice it's like noble quality? Like, oh yeah, someone who only makes the highest grade weapons makes these kind of thing.
You can probably understand why he's a little nervous then.
And like the
And it was
specialized
clearly
pommel,
custom.
and it's a custom piece that he can take the minute to appreciate as he gets his sharpener going. And this is a very fine blade.
Yeah, it was my a gift from my old mentor for my 61st birthday.
It's a very nice piece. I can see why. What?
Older than you.
Can see why it was gifted. And there's just the grinding sound now as he's working on sharpening it.
Rokain having a heart attack over
No,
there.
he's keeping an eye on it because, like, yeah, again, he doesn't want it to break.
Again, Ygin does this for a living.
I know that. Rokain does know that too.
It just doesn't make it feel any better.
Yeah. All it takes is a simple mistake.
No. Speaking of, I've been wanting to ask you, since you are used to handling this, I got my own short sword from Thiel. Would you be able to maybe help me train with it a bit? I know blades enough to know if they're balanced and know if they're sharp, but I'm not exactly adept at wielding one yet.
I can show you what I was taught, but I can't promise I'll be any good at it.
That's fine. Even just the starting blocks would be good. I know how to hold it. I don't exactly know how to wield it in battle, but if we're going to keep facing off against things like we have been, I feel like I need something that does a little more than just my daggers.
We should probably see if there's any practice weapons around then.
That would probably be a good idea, yes. I'm sure Kaxus has something lying around.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I do want to start practicing with my spear as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, like we mentioned, everyone can use a little training. It wouldn't hurt to work on it all together, so we can also learn how to work together a little better as well.
Yeah.
Brief pause as he pulls it away, kind of wipes it down, checks it, starts sharpening the other side. More grinding.
Yeah, I know.
Some little sparkies flying just from metal on stone. But as Ygin kind of finishes up, he gives it one last wipe down. You watch him kind of like run the pad of his thumb against the nail and against the blade, and then kind of do that test that you do with knives. Sometimes, you see if it'll cut hair real easy, and just kind of runs it on his arm, and then
shaves himself.
just a little spot, just to check. And then he kind of turns it around so the pommel's facing you. There you go. Should be good to go.
He'll go ahead and take it and resheath it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, not like super fast or anything, but like,
just
it goes
tuck it back
here.
in. And,
yes. Thanks.
You're welcome. If you need anything else, I'm always happy to help.
He'd offer a handshake. I don't know.
Yggin's amused, but he shakes Rokain's hand because he knows they still don't have a very, close bond.
Yeah. Because, if they were closer, it'd be like a thanks, here's a hug, goodbye. Mm-hmm. But, no, there's nothing there for that yet.
No, that's fair. So, yeah, Ygin will allow the just firm handshake.
And then, if you need any research things, I can help with that. And, the sword thing, too. I'll help you with that later.
No, I do appreciate that. But if in any of your searching you find anything more about Droxen,
that's on the list.
A little more personal, I appreciate it.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
And, he'll head away.
Just what a weird little thing.
He was a little bit more weirded out by that, but I guess it's because he doesn't fully know you or how to converse with you yet.
Well, that's fine.
Does he really know how to converse with anybody?
So and Egan's not one to
with-
push either.
Yeah.
So it's like I will offer and I will respond, but I'm not gonna like force something that feels forced.
Yeah. Though I think that might help Rokain later on.
Right. And it's just one of those. Egan's not sure how much he can push yet
Yeah.
either.
He just felt awkward and then treated it like a business transaction of, you helped me, I'll help you later. And then remember that he already said that he'd help you with something.
It's fine. This will probably not be the last time Egan sharpens your blade for you.
No, yeah.
We'll also teach you how to sharpen your blade at some point if
Probably
you
a
would
good
want.
idea.
Because he saw how nervous it made him. Then eventually, I imagine Xelas comes in and is like, "Hey, your turn with Kaxus."
Yeah, it might even be like the next day
That's fair.
of just like, this is what I did for Kaxus. It's not, I basically was just extra hands.
Which is fair.
Fine.
No, yeah. That's still, while you are extra hands on that task, he can do another thing in this task. Like, it still at least speeds it up a little bit.
Oh yeah. And I didn't make the entire room explode, so I'm counting that as a win.
That is a win. Yes, I will agree.
I also will say, with 3.5 weeks, I'm not even going to make you make a check. By the end of this, you will have a holding for your gems.
Okay. Good.
The next day, you're the one helping Kaxus, and
They were intelligence and arcana, I believe.
yes,
If you want me to roll the same checks?
You can do that. However, for you, I want you to roll for your knowledge of your tools, so your intelligence can. Because this is more like knowing your
So it can be intelligence plus proficiency instead of dex
Yes.
plus proficiency.
Yes.
I don't know if I should use you.
Just tell me which one you're rolling first.
That's a 9 for my intelligence check. You're grounded. And that's a 12 for my arcana check. I am also just an extra pair of hands.
Well, 1 second.
Okay.
Kaxus has this down just so highly specialized.
And again, it's just out of both of our milieus.
You do realize something. You don't immediately. So each ball has like a base. Like they're squishy, but like there's an internalized like casing almost of it when you. So you realize right away, even with a 9, you could expedite the process by learning how to make You can't immediately look at them and go, I know how to make that. But if you were to get the notes from Kaxus, you could expedite the process with your forging expertise.
Okay. I think that will be something like, while he's watching Kaxus work on one of them, he's like, would I be able to study your notes on those a little bit more?
Oh, on the chemical components?
No, on the actual holding, the ball itself.
Oh, yes.
The cage that's on the inside. I might be able to help you make more of those.
Oh, that would be. I'll admit, I'm. That's one of the tougher parts. I mean, you've seen how long it takes me when I.
But if I can at least make a few of those have a few of those on hand, that would be one less thing you have to worry about building.
Yes. It's. I don't see why not. I know magic isn't your milieu, and this is science and magic. Which I'm not saying. I'm happy for the extra pair of hands.
No.
I'm not.
You're going to have to try harder than that to insult me, Kaxus. It's all right. I am aware of where my strengths are. It's all right. But yes, I think, while I'm happy to be a spare set of hands like Kaxus or like Xelas, I think I would be the most helpful getting a head start on your casings for you.
Yes, I'm. He looks through his note, which in his lab, by the way, the two of you that have been in it, it is filled like the walls are basically wallpapered with notes.
Damn.
28 years. So he actually starts looking on the wall, and he's like, and he takes one down, and then he goes over and he takes another one down. Again, there's clearly a system he has, but to you it just looks like chaos.
No, yeah. To him, it's organized chaos. To all the rest of us, it's just what the fuck.
But he comes over eventually with like a set of like 4 different pages, and he's like, this is everything that some of the earlier notes, how I refined it, how I do the process.
And Ygin will like take them and kind of give them a brief perusal right now, just to kind of get a base idea.
Yeah.
I'm still happy to stay here and be extra hands for you right now.
Yes.
But
you do notice, just with your passive perception, like the earliest notes, very childlike handwriting. But like, that's not math you could do as a child.
no, God no,
That's not math you can do now.
no. It breaks his heart just a little bit. That Kaxus has been doing it this long as well. Like, glad he had something to keep his mind busy, but
He probably didn't do it right at 10, but like, you know that like everyone has that kind of in high school, that weird teenager scrawl of that you have when you're taking notes.
yeah, that chicken scratch. Yeah,
That chicken scratch that every teenager has. It's very clearly like you can see evolve from like the latest notes that are clearly more adult Kaxus notes. So he probably started it sometime in his teens.
But yeah, he kind of gives those a perusal and probably like tucks them into a pocket safely, so he can look at them more closely later and then jot his own notes down. But Xelas did mention he at least didn't make anything blow up yesterday.
No, nothing blew up. He did inhale a bit of the smoke and started hiccuping a lot.
Noted. But what can I do?
Well, and he gives you like a few tasks. He's like, if you want to work, since you'll be working more on the structure, maybe you can work a bit on the actual substance that is the squish, and then I'll imbue them with the magic. So he just kind of shows you a real quick, rough and dirty how to make the components that turn into the ball. And he's like, and then he kind of looks at you for a minute and he goes, Ygin, can I ask you something without you getting offended, annoyed?
You can ask me whatever's on your mind, Kaxus, yes.
The other night, you were very upset when Chandra was brought up. He's clearly not about to be like, can you tell me?
No, yeah.
He's like, I'll admit I don't know the name. But we are friends. And he, like, looked at you to double check, like, yes?
Yeah, Ygin gives a small nod, like, yes, correct, continue.
And, like you've said before, friends listen and help. So I'm offering to listen.
Ygin gives a small smile at that. It's like, It's a long story and not at the same time. Chandra and her friends are very prominent adventurers in Gita and other continents, but she and I had a relationship. She got pregnant with Zara. She promised to do her best to be there for Zara, and her best isn't very good. He gives a small shrug. I didn't mind how things were when it was just the two of us. We knew what it was. She wasn't in town often. I wasn't leaving. We were together when she was there. We were free to do as we pleased when we were apart, but children don't have that same kind of understanding. All Zara knows is her mom's not there for her. And I don't appreciate my daughter's heart getting broken over and over again. So while everyone else sees Chandra Leonani, the great monk and leader of this group, I see the woman that keeps letting my daughter down.
I think Kaxus was, like, messing with some stuff. He puts it down. And in what you've done to him many times, kind of gives you a squeeze on your shoulder.
He just kind of gives a small, not quite sad smile, and kind of reaches a hand up to pat Kaxus's hand with like a appreciative nod.
I mean, I can relate to a distant family, but my situation's a little different. You're a good father, Ygin, I can tell that. And I don't have to have seen you two together to know that. My mother cared for us, but I don't know if you know what the culture is like in Daichi.
I'm not overly familiar, no.
Achievement is everything there.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this would get me recognition, but simply being able to do this would just... It would have been my age that would have got me the recognition, not
the invention itself.
If I invented this a year ago, it would have been good. You invented something finally. So my mother expected perfection. She raised us to be extraordinary, especially knowing our legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell, well, you want the best for your daughter, and you don't expect extraordinary, you see her as extraordinary already.
Yes, I do.
And that may just seem like the base level of parenting to you, but I can assure you it is not.
He gives a small nod. I do appreciate that, Kaxus. I do my best by her. Right now, that does not feel like enough, because again, an 11-year-old's not going to understand entirely. But
well, if she's anywhere half as smart as you, I'm sure she understands more than...
Oh, she's leagues smarter than me.
Then I'm sure she understands, even if she doesn't like it.
She knows I would be home if I could be. That this is the last thing I want to do to her.
He nods. Sometimes, even if you're not there, if the child can feel your love, that makes all the difference. And it sounds like she can.
I hope so. She has been my whole world since the moment I found out she was going to be with us.
He kind of gets a look on his face. Like, first he's like, oh, that's sweet. And then he gets kind of a pause, like he's contemplating something, look on his face. And he goes, not to be the pot. But I do hope... I'm going to sound like you. I do hope, despite her being your whole world, which absolutely I understand, that you're also included in that, your own happiness.
I've been happy. I haven't wanted for anything. I was content in my life. I had my job, I had my work, I had my family. I had Zara. I was happy.
That's good. I'm sorry I had to take you away from that.
You didn't take me away from that, Kaxus. This isn't your fault. Circumstance took us away.
It's hard to... I'm the one who showed up and took you away. I'm the one who gave you this burden. Even if I didn't give it to you, it's hard to accept that it wasn't me.
But you didn't. You kept me alive. You saved my life, Kaxus. I would be dead right now had you not shown up when you did.
You see, I think, recognition for the first time that he's really like, yeah, I did that. And it's like he knew that he saved you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he fully realized, like, you would be dead if he hadn't.
And I don't think I ever actually properly thanked you for that either.
Oh, you don't... And you see he cuts himself off, and he goes, you're welcome, Ygin.
Ygin gives a small smile at that. So no, You didn't do this to me. An ancestor I never would have known about, from a bloodline I wasn't even attached to, because I was adopted, did this to me. You saved my life, and are frankly keeping us all safe now.
Well, I'm doing my best.
We're all doing our best. But you're not to blame for any of this. You didn't bring the Ichor into the world. You didn't start to wake it up now. You didn't force us all to step into these roles. You brought us somewhere that we could hone them as safely as we could. So thank you for all the work you've been doing.
I think he gives a nod and he kind of moves to go back to his work, and then he pauses and then he just gives you a hug.
Ygin will hug him back. Kind of that tight bear hug with like the clap on the back.
Yeah. And I think for the very first time, there was no tensing in the hug.
That's good.
He just kind of relaxes into it.
Like finally accepting this affection that he needs and deserves.
Yes. Rokain, you've been working on your project to organize even just the first room of books. You're probably still on this first room of books.
Probably.
But I think you've realized that you probably need a hand. It's a little much for one person to do.
Yeah. And I'm assuming I know that
Yeah, Egan's busy right now.
Ygin and
if he isn't with Kaxus, he's in the forge.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say if Ygin or Kaxus are busy, then yes. That leaves one other person.
Last resort.
I mean, obviously Kaxus is the go-to for this. That would be Ygin, and then sorry.
Yeah, I'm the last resort.
Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna go find you wherever you are. Where are you?
Where can I be?
When in doubt, on the beach.
Yeah. Probably outside on the beach.
So yeah, he'll just make his way to the beach.
Okay.
And yeah, what is you doing?
I think you probably find me sitting in the shore, like the water coming in, but not actually swimming. Just like kind of watching out over the ocean.
Yeah, I feel like he just walks up and goes, "You busy?
Turns and looks at him. Not really. Why?
Can I get your help?
With what?
Would you believe me if I said it was a surprise?
Not really, but all right.
I need help organizing the books."
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
All right, sure. He does not look thrilled, but he'll help.
Follow me! And yeah, we'll lead him back to the books, and I'm sure it looks like an absolute mess except for the part that is neatly stacked on bookshelves, with more bookshelves to go.
Have you read all these?
Most of them, skimmed through some didn't seem like that, but I have the system. And he will, if not prompted to stop, will explain the system.
No, go right ahead. Explain the system. Let's see how well Xelas understands the system.
I don't know, man. Rokain's got his own system.
How complicated would it be?
I feel like it's in genres of, this is what this does, this there, but it is also in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Of, portal, ancestors, but like, again, each area is also alphabetical.
Uh-huh.
So if you're looking for the ancestors, start at the first bookcase and look through and you'll find,
Mm-hmm.
And so like, yes, like none of them are actually fully full. It's just, okay, I'm going to put these books over here and then I'll reorganize them properly when they're over here. I'll get these ones here. So it's a lot of just making stacks before finalizing the organization, I feel like.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of it is like, if you can look through some of these books, put them where you think they go and go from there. If not, and then just pick up these books and follow me as I start putting them up.
You really want me to look through these books and put them where I think they should go?
Well, I'd hope you'd understand, like, again, ancestors, buildings, books. Books about books, apparently. Nonfiction's over there in that corner.
this is 90% nonfiction, bud.
I mean, fiction.
Fiction.
Sorry, I got it confused.
he's probably like flipping through one, but like this seems to cover several different topics. How do you pick?
Miscellaneous.
So all these books need to go into miscellaneous.
Not entirely. I don't know. He's got some kind of actual working system. I don't know how it works.
It's fine. Xelas is just gonna be like, point me at the stack, and point me where you want it to go. I think I can do that.
Yeah, I feel like he's got stacks of like, okay, I feel like these can go over here.
I like to think that the fiction, he's like, okay, I've organized the fiction, but I know Ygin and Kaxus really like romance, so like specifically that pile's romance, so that can go at the top.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's like, okay, these go over there, that goes over there. When you get these done, please make sure they're in alphabetical order.
You might want to double check Xelas knows his common alphabet.
Hey, he knows
It is canonical. He struggles with common.
Yes, it is, but he knows the alphabet.
I guess you have to like sing through it or something to make sure. Like,
maybe some muttering.
He's just
under
here.
their breath.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe he's like flipped two letters, like an M and an N, like there.
Alemnopy.
What?
Alemnopy. Elementopy. With all it getting crammed into one fucking note in the alphabet song. So it makes sense if he got one of those flip-flopped.
Yeah, I feel like Xelas is like occasionally pausing to look at a book that just catches his interest. Like, have you found anything useful?
well, I found stuff about my ancestor, a lot about the Guardians that have been here previously. I've already passed those off to Kaxus. I have gone through some, very little about yours. I'm still looking for more on Ygins. That's kind of why I've been going through them and making a list and going through all that. I've got more books in my room that I'm still currently reading. P.S. He's got a shit ton of books in his room, like stacks.
And I do feel like you found a lot of mentions of Droxin, because she is the one who is most... She was the leader. She's the most... But none of them are, like, about Droxin. It's just, like...
mentioning...
A lot of mentions of her, but not enough that you could be like, this is the Droxin section.
Anything that I've deemed fairly important, such as like stuff regarding anything that you guys might need or not, I usually try to either bring to you guys. That way we can read up and figure out what's going on. But I haven't really entirely found anything. But as you can see, this is only the first room of books. There's
Like 40 rooms of books,
I was
man.
about to say, half of this bunker is books.
there's about 40 other rooms full of books that we'll go through eventually.
40?
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some good information in here. That is
And
why this is probably my biggest project right now.
And Rokain, I do think you found some books that you're like, this is just past saving. Why do we even have this?
Yeah, there is a trash pile then. Unfortunately.
It's like you tried and you're like, I see the word and the word beginning, and yeah, this is just all molded. This is...
Yeah,
To the trash!
unfortunately.
This could have been like the book that unlocked everything, but it does us no good if we can't read it.
Yeah.
I don't get how you have the patience to do all of this. This is 40 rooms of books, and you're going to go through them all?
Yes. There could be extremely important information somewhere around here that we may need.
Uh-huh.
And if I don't do it, who's going to?
Not me.
My point stands.
But he
You
has
started,
so much other
yes,
stuff to
but
do.
yes. Organization skills are in the negatives.
Okay. Have you found anything about your ancestor?
Yeah, a little bit. I found their original notebook.
How'd that go?
I think he did show that.
I was
I
gonna say
know
I shared the information that I found in there about the name that we didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Xelas remembers that. He's wondering about anything else. Like, did you get anything else out of that?
That's pretty much all I could manage out of it. It was fairly damaged.
I mean, you did get the relationship between Austin and Lucky a bit, at least the vibe.
Yeah.
I don't think he shared that one.
No.
But also, I think before we share that, we're going to go to break, and we can continue when we come back. See you soon, bye!
Hey guys, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast without the support of our listeners. If you'd like to support us even more, you should head over to Patreon and check us out there at patreon.com/rollforfocuspodcast. You'll get all kinds of cool stuff like our Hyperfocus episodes that release on our off weeks, where we talk about the episodes and our thoughts and predictions about the future of the show, insights into our character backstories, or us playing games in and out of character. Want to suggest an NPC or a magic item for Emery to give us in the world? You can do that too, and so much more. And we're enacting our first Patreon stretch goal. When we get to 50 Patreon subscribers, no matter the tier, Emery is going to run a one-shot where we play a group of adventurers that run into the ancestors before they became the world-saving heroes we know now. Even more fun, patrons will be able to pitch character concepts we'll choose from to build our one-shot characters. You can join for as little as $1 a month, and every dollar we make goes right back into producing our podcast with the hopes we can improve and make it everything our listeners deserve. Thanks!
And welcome back! Anyway, you guys were having
a moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I know you found that journal on your ancestor, but, like, anything else?
What do you mean?
I don't know how to make my question more specific than that.
Like, more in that book, or more
Just
books about them?
Yeah, more books about them.
I've only found the one big one. I mean, found other books mentioning our ancestors here and there, i.e. ancestor bookcase. But nothing crazy, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Kind of, a little bit. More so like anything actually interesting and helpful.
I mean, it did mention in my ancestor's notebook that your ancestor drove my ancestor nuts.
Xelas just laughs. Alright.
But I just think that was your ancestor in general.
Drove people nuts?
Yeah.
That probably would be the one thing that would survive about him, since Kaxus says there's, like, nothing.
I think he does kind of give out a little laugh to that.
What are you even hoping to find?
I mean, well, finding what I've already found, especially Kaxus's Guardians books, it's possible that he might find powers he doesn't even know he has yet, or maybe each Guardian has a different specialized power, or that's stuff we're gonna have to test out anyways and figure out. I need to talk to him more about it himself, or with him.
What kind of stuff did you find out?
One, I believe, was it specifically one had prophetic dreams, or was that found multiple?
One specifically mentioned that they're prophetic dreams and that they would become more prophetic if they were activated.
Okay. One seemed to have prophetic dreams. The other had... I can't think of any other...
Powers.
1 second.
I was going to say, like, kind of...
Because I didn't go through the whole thing, but
It's like a stronger connection to the Ichor, a stronger connection to the descendants.
That's right, yeah. That's right, yep.
Those are the only other two I remember right offhand.
You'll just go over a few other ones, examples and whatnot.
The prophetic dreams would be really helpful. Or, not dreams, visions? Whatever it is.
Visions, dreams, you know.
That would be helpful. So I'm not really sure I believe in things being set in stone.
You never know. The information I found out with my ancestor is, you know, they were very protective over their team. I hope you make the correlation that that's what Rokain has been trying to do.
Yeah, no, Xelas kind of pauses a moment and like, do you think we're emulating our ancestors' personalities?
I mean, isn't that what we were supposed to be doing?
Personalities?
Shouldn't we try to be as much as them as possible?
I didn't think so. I mean, I know we were getting their powers, but I didn't think that meant we had to be them.
I mean, like, if we're supposed to do their job, shouldn't we try to do it as best as possible like them?
We should try to do it as best as possible, but we're not them. And so I don't think we should try to do it exactly like they did it. Because, well, first of all, they had more than we do. There are 3 of us.
Yeah, and we aren't really much of anything without their powers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to be their personalities, right? I mean, I don't feel like I'm taking on different personality traits, I don't think. Do you?
Not entirely. I was just... He gets a little quiet trying to think. He doesn't know what to say. He's a little confused, conflicted.
Were you just trying to be really protective because Lucky was really protective?
I mean, but that's what the power was all about, was, I got to be more protective.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I had to do.
I mean, to utilize the powers, I suppose, but that, again, I don't feel like that has to be your personality. I don't know what to say. He's at a loss of words. Just the
Xelas is just stumping him over there.
I was like, I'm not much of anything.
Damn. I got 2 black stones and a white stone.
I got 2 white stones.
Neat.
Juggle in there, bud.
Yeah, it was completely unscrewed, but was not coming up.
I mean, if you want to be like that, obviously I'm not going to stop you, but I don't think we should try to be them. I think we should try to be us and do the best we can do. Trying to live up to somebody else is only ever going to end in failure because you're not that person. He says as he's just casually putting books on the shelf.
While just rocking Rokain's whole goddamn world and calling him out for every issue he has.
I didn't think we were going to get this from you. I thought it was going to be one of them.
I think after a moment of Rokain being silent, you're going to pause and look over like...
His back is turned away from you right now.
Are you alright?
I think we can take a break here. And yeah, he's just going to start walking out of the room. I literally just told him not to do what he has been doing his entire life.
Yeah, we shouldn't be trying to be someone else. And who the fuck am I supposed to be? Ygin.
I think we're going to get this from you. I thought it was going to be one of them.
I think it's better that he doesn't realize he's calling you the fuck out. I think it's better that he's just like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. We shouldn't try to be someone we're not. And he's like, what the fuck do you mean we're not supposed to be someone we're not? But you're going through your day, Ygin. You're probably in the forge when you get ascending.
Oh, yay.
Ygin, make sure you sleep deeply tonight and let me in when you feel the push. I found a way for us to speak.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
I didn't realize. That sounds very sexual, Lexori.
Anyway. I'm going to pause real quick so I can write this down.
She has some extra words. Maybe it's pushed to your mind.
God damn.
That's up there with you feel something entering.
Damn it. Back to the show of me getting mocked. But yes, you get that message as you are working on the forge. Probably working on the carriers.
Cage, yeah.
The cage.
Still can't believe you fucked Rokain.
We'll save that for the talkback.
Yeah.
Okay. He sends back, noted, easier said than done these days. I'll do my best. I suppose I'll speak with you tonight then. And then, yeah, knowing he needs to be asleep tonight, it's kind of, okay, we're going to put this on pause. What is the most manual labor I can do right now to exhaust myself? And then later in the day, I'll be like, Kaxus, do you happen to have any, like, sleepy time tea in the kitchen?
Yes.
Like, I need to be in as deep a sleep tonight as I can be in, and hopefully stay in it.
Okay.
I'm expecting a message from Lexori. I don't know. She said I needed to be as asleep as I could, and as deep of a sleep as I could be, she found a way for us to talk.
Okay.
Again, magic's not my milieu, so...
But yeah, closer to the night, I can absolutely give you...
I appreciate it.
Um...
And he probably mixes it with some, like, whiskey or something he kept from Theo. It's just like, sleepy time tea, alcohol, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, let's go. Just everything he could think of to just exhaust himself, to try to...
You help Rokain with the... so you can get lulled to sleep with how boring...
Yeah, instead of reading one of his romance books before bed, he's like, what's the most technical journal you have? This. Got it.
That depends on... Is this the same day that we just got fucked over by...
No, probably not.
Okay, because he would not be functioning to help you with that right now.
Just later that same day, like, okay, I'm sorry I broke you, apparently.
Doors closed, locked.
But yeah, he does what he can to make sure he's properly asleep that night.
You go to sleep that night. You feel a push on your mind.
He will, as much as he can, being unconscious, allow the injury.
One second. I want to...
Describe Lexori properly.
Yes. In front of you, a familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
A short, amaranth-colored tiefling with little double-braided pigtails down the back. Her usual style. Just these really bright green eyes, pink hair. She's very tiny, which is definitely... It's one of those things of, like, you would not look at her and think she is a very powerful cleric.
Mm-hmm. Big things, small packages, yeah.
Yeah. But she sees you, and you see her. I think you're sort of just in your dream kind of turned into just, like, this nice field.
Mm-hmm. And
she runs up to you and gives you a big hug.
Oh, Egan's really glad that he can just give her a big squeeze. Probably, like, picks her up off the quote-unquote ground. And then sets her back down. It's just like, oh, it's very good to see you, Lexori.
It's so good to see you. Are you... I mean, obviously you're not okay, but are you okay?
Physically, you beat the nightmare, so there's that.
Oh.
It's been a long couple of weeks at this point. I'm not even terribly sure where to start with all of it.
This can't be something I do often, unfortunately, and it only lasts as long as you're asleep. I had to buy a scroll for this.
I'm sorry, but thank you for doing that. I did everything I could to make sure I'd stay asleep for as long as possible tonight.
Okay.
But, I mean, he kind of just insert everything from prologues to now into this, but...
Yeah, you tell her everything, like, you don't leave a detail out.
With Lexori, given everything, probably not. He trusts her.
Okay.
And it's just like, yeah, this is gonna sound fucking crazy, but here we go.
Wow.
I'm aware.
Wow.
I'm aware.
Okay.
You see why I mentioned I'm stuck in a job and I can't be home.
And you're sure this is real? This tiefling who adopted you isn't just crazy?
No, I've seen the Ichor firsthand. I saw it in the beasts that were very clearly targeting me before Kaxus dragged me away. I saw it in Lathe, even though there's no evidence of it left there past the destroyed casino.
And you have been imbued with powers?
Yes, and the woman I helped there, she's on her way to my family now. Okay.
If you're in your mind, can you not just show your memories?
I don't know how this shit works!
I mean, like, I feel like it's a DM answer, but...
Let me check the wording of the spell.
You can just be like, here, this is what they look like. Monitor pulls up.
Again, and Ygin wouldn't Think of that. He doesn't know how magic works. He's just like, like Sori said, do a thing, so I'm gonna do a thing.
I mean, while you're thinking about it, could it just be like...
I don't know. I think that falls under flavor text.
Yeah.
Because it's technically just like you or a messenger whom you cast dream on. You can communicate with another creature in its sleep. It doesn't really say anything about sharing memories and whatnot.
That's fair.
Yeah, it might be possible, but I don't think Ygin would know that.
And wouldn't know how to channel it even if he did.
Okay, just...
Even if it being an ancient evil is garbage, there is something dangerous afoot.
And there's clearly something that is imbuing you with abilities. I mean, you said you can wild shape?
I turned into a panther, yes. I haven't tried to do it again. It's a little unnerving. But yes.
Oh, Ygin. She just gives you another hug.
He hugs her back real tight and kind of presses a kiss between her horns on the top of her head.
Yes. Which I did not describe. They're very loopy.
But yeah, he takes the hug very happily. Where are you all right now?
Oh, we're in a place that I have notes on.
Yeah, I think the only things he doesn't tell Lexori, like I briefly mentioned before, he doesn't tell her where they are, like where the bunker is, and he doesn't tell her more than there is a merchant that comes to help them, because he doesn't want her finding Thiel either. Because that falls under, I can't tell you things that will bring you here, basically.
Yeah. We're in Abreu.
He kind of gives a little nod. Sighs really heavy.
There's this whole plot where people are being abducted and used for experiments to... It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Yes, I understand. Not expecting any of you to up and go.
And unfortunately, those experiments are being classified as undead, so I'm sort of...
required to help turn them. Yes.
Yes.
I understand. Again, I didn't expect any of you to drop and run immediately. It's just I wanted to let you all know as soon as I could.
Well, I'll keep checking in on you. Mm-hmm. I don't like that you can't tell me where you are.
I know.
But when you go somewhere and you're able to tell me, let me know when you're in a location, and then we can try and...
Kaxus is trying to find more sending scrolls, so hopefully by the time I know where we're going next, I can let you all know.
And you trust this Kaxus?
I do.
Well, you're a good judge of character.
He's as lost as we are, frankly, just making it up as he goes. We're all doing our best. But he's not malicious. I mean, like I said, I'd be dead without him right now, so...
No, to which I'm grateful for him. I just wish I could help more.
No, I know. The fact you want to helps enough.
Of course. I haven't talked too much about everyone else. They're so absorbed with everything. I've mentioned it to Artie.
Mm-hmm.
But... And I've mentioned it to Chandra.
I know you have. But I'm not surprised that it's not carrying as much weight as it should.
Yes. She's concerned, but she kind of looks down, and you can see the disapproval in her eyes. She seems more concerned about the threat than...
Of course. If you could, I'm sending a letter off to get sent home, but do you think you could send to Zara, let her know I am checking in every night? She probably doesn't know what the magic is that she feels, but I try to check in around bedtime every night.
Okay. Yes. I will let her know.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I am sending her a letter, but her knowing that it is me every night might
Yes.
make her feel better.
I'll let her know as quick as I can. I think I have enough magic to at least get one more sending off.
I appreciate it. I don't know what else to tell you right now. We're in over our heads and doing our best, but... And there's a lot of information that's been lost over the years that we're all scrambling to try to figure out in the meantime. You're more plugged into the adventuring world. I'm sure that names have been as lost as anything else, but Droxen, Lucky, those names don't mean anything to you, do they? No ancient stories?
Not that I can think of, no, but then again, neither does this Ichor.
No, yes, I just thought I'd try.
I can look around.
That part's not the most important at this moment. Frankly, as always, Zara is my biggest concern.
Of course. She looks down. If Chandra doesn't go, I'll go to her.
I appreciate that. It's not your job, but I do appreciate it.
You know I love her like my own.
I know you do, and I can't thank you enough for that.
She gives you another big hug and on her tiptoes to give you a forehead kiss.
Okay.
Even then you have to bend.
No, absolutely. He hugs her back, but when he realizes what she's trying to do, he kind of steps back to lean down for her.
Stay strong.
I am doing my best. There have been some ill-advised coping mechanisms in the process, but it's fine.
Oh?
Just some personal time with the merchant I mentioned. It's nothing a big deal.
Ygin.
What? I am a grown man.
At least you know it's an ill-advised coping.
I am aware it's an ill-advised coping mechanism, yes. It could be worse.
It could be worse. She just kind of shakes her head, gives you another kiss on the cheek, goes, I can feel the magic kind of waning. You're waking up.
That doesn't surprise me. But thank you for finding a way to check in properly so we can actually talk.
Yet doing this over sending would have been impossible.
Miserable. You would have wasted all of your magic to get even a fraction of this.
No, it was more than worth the thrill. Stay safe. I'll
do my
contact
best.
you when I'm able, as soon as we're done with things here.
Okay. He kind of sighs and just hugs her again real tight.
I think you guys stay hugging until you wake up.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the first time he doesn't, like, jar awake
Yeah.
this since they came back to headquarters as well. It was, like, one of the most peaceful times he's woken up. And then he just kind of stares at his ceiling with a big, heavy sigh.
And I think that's where we'll end the episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you had just as much fun listening as we had playing. And remember,
Play to your you.
Bye!
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Roll for Focus from Campaign 1 Ouroboros. If you enjoyed it, please rate and review us wherever you listen. Episodes are edited and transcribed by the Roll for Focus team. Character art is by Ygin, also known as Fiesta TV. She can be found at linktree/Ygin. That's MEDEKH. Intro and outro music is The Last Dragon by Alex Bess. If you want to do more to support us, for as little as $1 a month, you can join our Patreon. That's Patreon/Roll for Focus Podcast. Get exclusive looks at character sheets, ad-free and early access to episodes, monthly extra content ranging from character backstories, games in and out of character, one-shots, and anything else we think would be fun, shoutouts at the end of the episodes, and more.
hey everyone, thank you all so much for all the support you give. We especially want to thank our patrons, like those who have found enlightenment and know that it's best to play to your you, like Luchik and MN House of Cats. Thank you guys so much. We couldn't do this without you.
Can you imagine if you had just gotten like that message or something when you were sleeping with Theo?
I'd be like, hold please, I'm getting a call.
well, one sec.
Gross.